The details surrounding Otto Porter Jr.'s contract have been revealed, and the numbers indicate that the Raptors have perfectly positioned themselves for a blockbuster trade. So I'm going to break down Toronto's entire cap situation and how they have sort of set themselves up to acquire a big contract in a trade that could be potentially a superstar player. Additionally, the betting odds for the Toronto Raptors acquiring Durant have shot up once again today, making us the second most likely favorite team to land Kevin Durant for Kevin Durant to play on next season. So I'll break into those. And finally, we have a couple more insiders giving some tidbits on how a potential Kevin Durant deal could play out. So lots of news. Let's dive straight into it. Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, breaking down the latest Toronto Raptors news. And the first thing we'll talk about is not specifically Kevin Durant related, however, it does have serious implications on that situation, but it's that Otto Porter Jr.'s contract has been revealed. Now, Otto Porter Jr. is a guy that a lot of Raptors fans, we've known he's going to come into this team for the past couple days now, but we did not know how much money he'd end up making. Now, there's rumors yesterday that the contract was going to be $2 million per year. However, that was fake news because sportstrack.com ended up accidentally putting in a default filter for their website, and they're usually a trusted, reliable source. So just a technical issue that led to some fake rumors being spread out. But now we actually have the details come out surrounding Otto Porter Jr.'s contract coming from Josh Lewinberg. He said that the deal is worth around $12.4 million over the course of 2 years, with a player option in the second season. We knew about this player option once the signing was initially discussed by Chris Haynes, and obviously all of this will be made official following the free agency moratorium, which comes this Wednesday. So occasionally there's been cases in the past where deals have been reneged on, and you look at DeAndre Jordan, or even involving a Toronto Raptor, Hedo Turkoglu back in the day, where he was going to go to Portland, I believe, and then switched it up and came to Toronto, but that rarely happens. We're going to get Otto Porter Jr. on this deal, and regardless of any trade situations happen, because this deal is important, sort of seeing how the Raptors are playing 4D chess with the cap this offseason. But even if no trade occurs and no big fish is landed, I think this is a steal for the Toronto Raptors. And it seems like the broad NBA, not just Raptors fans, but everyone in the NBA, is looking at this like a massive W for Toronto. Now, because it seems like a guy that played a significant impact on winning a championship for an organization as the Golden State Warriors, right? Should command, and the numbers he put up, 8-6, close to 40% shooting from the three-point line. I mean, the guy signed a max contract following his rookie deal, right? So he's gotten paid over the course of his career, but should be at least commanding at least a mid-level exception. But no, we're essentially getting him for half that, right? $6.2 million per year. So it's kind of a team-friendly deal coming into an organization he's new from. So people are giving credit to his wife, giving credit to the organization of because his wife is from Toronto. If you didn't watch watch our video on Otto Porter Jr. a couple days ago when we actually signed him, but people are shouting out Masai, shouting out Otto Porter Jr.'s wife, and shouting out Otto Porter Jr. himself for taking a team-friendly contract en route to Toronto. So becoming a fan favorite before he even steps on the court. So shout out to Otto Porter Jr. And again, before we dive into the trade implications, if the Toronto Raptors don't make a trade, we still have about $4.2 million of the mid-level exception to end up acquiring new players. Now, because Koloko, he's a guy that's a second-round pick, he doesn't get your regular rookie scale contract, so that money does have to eat into a Koloko salary. However, lots of money left to play with, potentially bolstering the backcourt. That's something I made a video about, or I talked about in a video a couple days ago about Thomas Bryant would be a guy I would love to pick up, but lots of flexibility, lots of deals. So this deal is a steal for the Toronto Raptors. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this deal. But now into the discussion that everyone is sort of interested in, has been dominating the headlines for the Raptors. It's how does this impact the positions for the Toronto Raptors? How does this position the Toronto Raptors for a star trade? Because I talked about the money, how he didn't eat up the entire mid-level exception. Right? That's what I expected when we signed him, right? That's what I sort of predicted, but he left us a little bit of space. He left us a little bit of wiggle room, which is going to have a serious impact on what we can actually do to acquire some big name players, whether it's Durant or even some other guys that have been sort of trickled down in the rumor mill over the past couple of days. But John Hollinger put it pretty solidly in high level terms that this amount is low enough, the amount that Otto Porter Jr. signed, that it would allow the Toronto Raptors to go over the luxury tax apron if a trade for an all-time great scorer were to emerge, or just any big contract player. Now, why is that? Why is that the case? It's because this contract now fits into what's called the taxpayer mid-level exception. So this, if you go over that and your team that's paying the tax, then you're hard capped. So you have to pay a lot more in extra money to the NBA and all that sort of stuff if you want to go over that hard tax apron. However, the Raptors are not a tax team right now. They could be if they do end up making a big trade, but the fact that we've stayed under that now allows us to not be hard capped if we do make a potential deal for a Kevin Durant or even a DeAndre Ayton or potentially a Donovan Mitchell, which I know some people have chatted about a little bit. The Utah Jazz certainly showed interest in OG Anunoby and Gary Trent Jr., but I'm going to focus on sort of the Durant situation right now because this is extremely important, right? Obviously, we're going to have to make the money work, make the salary match, and that's what the 95% of all these trades. It's not just about the players, it's about making all the contracts sort of fit, align together, and do all that sort of stuff. So the Raptors now, by taking Otto Porter Jr. on this team-friendly deal, we can now take back more money, go over the luxury tax in a trade that we could potentially make. So that allows us to, not send out so many players, allows us to potentially keep a Birch, a few role guys, a Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young also signed his contract in such a way that allows him to be traded this offseason as well, because it was an extension rather than just sort of an open air free agent signing, because usually if you make these signings, then you have to wait till December 15th to actually be moved or be eligible to be moved. However, Thaddeus Young could potentially be a guy that's thrown into one of these packages as well. So the Raptors, they're Masai Ujiri's out here being crafty, being slick. I see the Brian Windhorst meme saying, what are the Raptors possibly doing by giving themselves this flexibility? What could potentially be going on? And obviously, we're on that quest for KD, and hopefully we don't have to give up massive assets. We know we're going to have to give up massive assets, but not 3 massive assets or something crazy for Kevin Durant. But that's the whole situation. I'll keep you guys updated on that whole situation. Whatever minor moves, tweaks have been made in potentially acquiring that generational superstar. But we also have a little bit more rumblings, a little bit more news to break down. And the Raptors betting odds to land Kevin Durant has shot up once again. For the 4th day in a row, the odds have been shooting to that moon. And they showed the image. It's on DraftKings.com. I peeped it there myself, but it was summarized by this Reddit comment. I'll give the guy some love. Efficient Shelter 69, right? Summarized it pretty well. But the Raptors betting odds for acquiring Kevin Durant continue to shoot up over the past couple of hours, right? So this is this afternoon. We're at a plus 550 to land Kevin Durant right now, and that's not just if he's traded, right? I think I broke down an odds in a video a day ago or 2 days ago saying that it was about a 20% chance to land Kevin Durant if he's traded. So that's just, that's a big if there. That's a, your conditional probability tables for anyone that's taken statistics. But no, this odds that was displayed here in for this DraftKings bet is just the team he's going to land on, regardless if he's traded or not. So we've actually passed the Brooklyn Nets in terms of likelihood of Kevin Durant playing on a team next season. The Suns still have the best odds out there for the at minus 170, but that has been going down steadily over the past couple days as well, given that was the initial team Kevin Durant said he wanted to go to. And the plus 550 odds for someone that's not that savvy into betting, like myself, gives you roughly around 17-18%, but that number has been shooting up over the past couple days. 3 days ago, we weren't even in the conversation. Then we were sort of behind the Phoenix Suns and Miami Heat alongside the Pelicans now, right? The Brooklyn Nets were obviously up high there as well. Now we've passed the Heat, substantially past the Pelicans, and we've overtaken Kevin Durant's current team, the Brooklyn Nets, in these odds. And from all indications, it seems like the Phoenix Suns' likelihood of landing him is continuously going down, given the fact the Brooklyn Nets do not want DeAndre Ayton. They don't want to give him that big contract. So unless it's a 3-team deal, that's what Woj, that's what all the ESPN analysts and insiders have been saying. Unless it's a 3-team deal, a trade between the Phoenix Suns and Brooklyn Nets likely is not going to happen. So keep you updated on all that sort of stuff. And finally, last topic we have is that the Raptors are, quote, the wild card in a trade situation. And this is Bobby Marks once again speaking out, and more of a locked-in guy in the NBA, but the ESPN devoted an entire segment to the Toronto Raptors potentially landing KD. And the quote they used was a wild card. They said that they have the assets that no one else can really match. Brought up Scotty Barnes, brought up Pascal Siakam, brought up OG Anunoby, brought up a few, obviously all the guys that we know we have. But, they're still talking like Scotty Barnes could potentially be in a package. He did go on to say that he'd probably likely be held out, but then Siakam would be in a trade. I think Masai Ujiri is working those phones off right now to see if we can acquire Kevin Durant without giving up either Pascal Siakam or Scotty Barnes. And Scotty Barnes is a non-starter for Toronto. So that's an interesting deal. Obviously a wild card. They get you the wins. They get you the W's. They can be anything. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up occurring. The KD news, it's been a whole dramatic situation. Subscribe to Raptors Digest if you want to keep up on all of the latest details surrounding this whole quest for Kevin Durant. Let me know what you guys think, what you guys would give up for a potential deal in the comment section below. Anyways, check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. I'm signing out. Cheers.